Let's see. We have a comment from Larry. New here, interested in hearing about your trade show experience and how you track ROI. Can sometimes be challenging to get the full picture of trade show value.
Yeah, so Larry, we'll go into that probably in like 2 weeks, but just high level, how we go into it is, and we do things a little bit differently, but we did a lot of pre-show marketing. So what we did, we looked at it and said, you've got the exhibitor group, people that we want to sell to that are exhibitors, and you got the attendees that we don't know who they're going to be. So we have to set things up ahead of time to go after the exhibitors with pre-show marketing. And if you're, depending on the show, you might be able to get the list from last year or market to those people that were attendees. We grabbed the exhibitor list. I went through every single one for this show, 1,800 roughly companies, went through each one, went through their website, picked out the ones that I thought were a good fit for us, marketed to those people, job function that we went after. They're already in our system. As people came to the booth and got scanned, even the scanning system, which we're going to be coming out with hopefully in the next 2 months, a new system that we've partnered with a software developer on, a new system that is going to be way better than the ghetto Express Leads. Sorry, Express Leads, if you watch this, your system is so ghetto. It is horrible. It is the worst system. We've used it with clients that did like IMTS and Fabtech and stuff like that. We've had to take their scans and put them into the system to do marketing afterwards and set up sequences and workflows and whatnot. Being a firsthand user of it, it is absolute trash. So me and the automation team were like, we can make something better. We found a partner to do it with, and we're going to be rolling out something that's way better that is not tied to a trade show, and you can use it even as attendees. But anyways, you take that data, it has to go into the system, and it comes down to the custom fields and metrics that you're tracking in your system to be able to track that person all the way through the life cycle stages of, hey, is this a marketing qualified lead, sales qualified lead, tying it back to a show, an event, something like that with a custom field. So I can run a report at any point in time and say, hey, show me everyone that came from this trade show that we walked, how many of them turned into deals, what was the dollar amount for those deals to then track ROI. It's harder to track ROI on trade shows from a soft cost standpoint, like if you want to get crazy detailed, which I'm not going to go down that path, but like everyone's time. So I took 12 people to the trade show, and if I said, hey, what is their time worth for those 5 days during the week, I can add that in as like that's a soft cost expense. I'm looking at high level hard costs because it's just less fluff in it, because like, did this one person, was their time valuable? Like that's a different conversation with operations. Was this person going to the show based on what they did at the show valuable for their amount of output that they do and the responsibilities that they have? But tracking hard costs, what was the total cost of it, but then tracking the opportunities and the deals, not just from the first time. What usually ends up happening is you get 120 leads, 220 leads, whatever it is, scans at the booth. And then it's like, once sales has a conversation, it goes down the funnel and you get like 26. And then people usually just focus on those 26 people. And it's like, that's the deals we got from it. But everybody else could potentially still be a deal. And if you didn't stamp them in the beginning when they came into the system, you'll never know if they end up turning into a customer that can contribute to the ROI. So we'll go through that in a couple of weeks. I'll have a whole process.
Let's see, we have a couple comments from Reading Dave. I'm trying to dream up types of content to keep our customers' privacy because our products are designed by our customers. Categories I have come up with are applications, example of properties, comparing results of processes, machines, boxes, ready to ship, expertise in the field, people that make it happen, and the business of production. Do you have any other suggestions along these lines?
So Reading Dave turned into Research Dave first, and then Writing Dave, because I think that you've pretty much covered every single topic that I could think of off the top of my head. I think all of those are great, and I completely understand your situation where you can't disclose too much information because they help you develop the products. But what I would do is look at it and say, we have all of these different areas, and I'm going to create content for each. What's going to be the easiest ones to create that maybe don't require a lot of back-end information or approval to get it out there, and start there. Start with the easy stuff, because if this is all new to you, if Reading Dave is turning into Writing Dave, and you're going to start creating this content, then what can happen is you can lose your steam if you start to run into roadblocks where you're like, I'm going to tackle this one because it's going to be so much value, but I'm gonna hit all of these issues along the way, to where 6 months later, I'm like, cool, I got one piece of content, because you're gonna say that sucked. I don't want to do it again. So get some quick wins, just do some easy ones and then track how many people engage with that, view it, page on your site, whatever it is, but you need to track that. But I think you've got it covered. Research, Dave.
Tim wants to know top moment of Fabtech.
I'd say 2 top moments. One, the expression on people's faces, bodies when they walked into the house for the first time. Would you agree with that, Laura? And number 2, that dinosaur costume. Like, oh my God. So we thought, hey, let's just parade somebody around in a dinosaur costume would be a hit. It was way more than a hit, to where we should have put so much more into it to really make it like a smashing hit. But the ridiculousness of it, of people wanting to take pictures with somebody in a blow up $30 dinosaur costume or whatever it was, and the fun content. And I feel like it's the personality behind it. Nancy and Christian, Nancy in the West Hall, Christian in the South Hall, doing that costume with their personality, when they transcend into somebody hilarious. Laura's like, what are you talking about? They were hilarious about it because they became the dinosaur and added their spin to it. That was ridiculously good. I'd say my third, how about a third moment, was, so we created a koozie. It says, I make cool S word. Those things everybody wanted. So the team went to the beer garden one of the days. They had a stack of maybe 30 koozies. Mason Palmer went there. People were like, dude, let me get one. There was people lining up to get koozies from us, to where Palmer left the beer garden, literally sprinted back to the booth in the South Hall to grab another stack from me. So we probably gave out like 50 or 60 koozies, and people were jonesing over it big time. So those are my top 3 moments. There isn't just one. There's a million others, like the team bonding, the food, Laura's dinner, insane. Best pasta meal I've ever had in my life. Alex's burgers, ridiculous. It was insane how good his burgers were. Nancy's chicken, what was she make? Chicken fajitas, so good. Like a whole like insane spread of food. The food was definitely one of the top highlights. But then also just hanging out with the team, having fun, and just making some alcoholic beverage bottles go from completely full to empty was also fun at times.
Tim says, any gut punches at Fabtech?
Any gut punches? I don't think so. There was, no gut punches, no even like in the face punch. For some other companies, there were definitely some gut punches. Like people talking to us, giving other companies gut punches, and why they want to talk to us was entertaining. But no, I'd say that everything went as expected. It was a shit show at times, and it was very good at times. More times good than a shit show, I'd say. Overall, complete W. How about, maybe we should say the highlight was us leaving the show and somebody in the vehicle in the front seat saying, hey, we should take a cone. How about that? And then we took said cone and brought that cone, because it was a street cone, back to the house. That was probably, what would you call it? Not the funniest, but the most ridiculous moment.
I would say putting all those people together for 5 days just made for a lot of shenanigans. That's how I would summarize that.
Yep, there were shenanigans.
Tim also wants to know, any tips on marketing to potential employees? It seems to be as important as marketing to customers.
Yeah, so marketing to employees, funny you say that, but I did a whole speech on it at the PMA's Lone Star golf outing in April. And I want to take that presentation that I did and give it as a live or do it in a video. But yes, you have to make yourself, your core values, your company, your vibe, your culture, what you stand for, mission, vision, all of that stuff, stand out amongst everybody else to make sure you're attracting the right people, and make sure that you're getting the right attention and that your company is being, shed in the right light. So if you guys in your situation where there's it's an employer's market in some areas, in some fields, like I feel like right now, people that we're trying to add to our team, specific positions, it's an employer's market. We post something out there and we get 20, 40, 60 responses within like a week. On the flip side of it, and qualified responses, not just like people like, oh, I could do that. On the flip side of it, manufacturers are like, I want a welder, a machinist, this and that. I feel like it's still more of an employee market because there's a lot of companies looking for it, not enough people there to fill it. So you gotta, like, why should somebody come work for you over anybody else? What makes you different? And you have to push that out there as hard as possible and show that culture and that vibe. The best way to do it is with videos, but you can also do it with words and images. So 100% important because you can't go anywhere without the team, and without a team you can't grow or fulfill the orders that you have or service the customers that you have. So the team is the most important. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below, turn on notifications, follow me on LinkedIn. If you want to listen to this in podcast format, every major podcast platform has Industrial Sales and Marketing with me. And be sure to tell a friend if you got any value out of this.